Take me through a couple more detective calls that were interesting to you or that really stood out.
I'd say my joke was always going to be that I was going to write a book, and the name of it was going to be Dick on the Sidewalk and Other Stories from the Street. The last few years I was a detective, I got like 3 of the craziest cases of my life in year 31. We had the guy cut off his own dick and threw it on the sidewalk.
Oh, for what?
Because he was crazy. He was mentally ill, but we don't know any of this. So the call came in the morning. I was on the way in. It was early in the morning. It was cold out. I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
I have the radio on, and I hear the dispatcher call a car and then start to laugh. And then she says, disregard. We don't know what's happening. So I'm driving to the station, and then a call comes in again, sending a different car, because it was like the midnight shift ending. Sending a different car, hey, can you go to this location? Someone said there's a piece of male anatomy on the sidewalk. And we were all laughing. We just thought it was a dildo. We thought it was a joke. That's why the dispatcher was laughing.
You just thought it was like a WNBA game or whatever.
Exactly. It wasn't green. Call comes in like 10 minutes later, and my detective that I was working with at the time looked it up on the computer to see the text of the call. Like, what does this actually say? And then we saw that the caller was from a nearby health center. And it said there's, appears to be a penis on the ground. There's blood everywhere. We're like, oh shit, that's not fake. So the patrolman,
that's real.
The patrolmen go up there, and so that's our starting point. We don't know anything else, and literally there it is. I wasn't there yet. The patrolmen see it on the sidewalk, and there's a blood trail. So they start following the blood trail, and it went a long way, several hundred yards.
What?
And it gets worse and worse. So that's how it starts. So that's our starting point. And the patrolmen follow the blood trail, and then they're following it up the stairs of this 3-family house. It's like 3 apartments in one house, and the blood gets bigger and bigger. They knock on the door. This guy opens the door, completely naked, a hole where his dick used to be, and he's just standing there, not talking. And they're like, hey, buddy, you okay? And he's just like, he doesn't speak. He just stares at them. So that they were newer guys. I felt so bad for them. That's a tough call. They weren't brand new, obviously, but that's a lot for young guys to see this, right? So
just see some cock down the street or whatever.
Why don't you come in and sit down? So and turns out it was like a group home for mentally ill people, but there was no staff members or anything there. So there's 3 people in the house. It is a bloodbath. There's blood everywhere in the bedroom, the floor, the sink was full of it.
Oh.
So they find that, and they get on the radio, and they're like, get us an ambulance, whatever, because we don't know, how does someone alive, right? So he's alive. So I got called, and me and another detective, my boss, went down, and it's on the sidewalk, and they're taking photographs or whatever, and they call. Once the ambulance finds out he's alive, they just assume somebody had bled out somewhere and was dead, or someone did it to somebody else. He's like, no, I did it. Like, oh shit, okay.
So he's being honest.
Yeah, but he's just completely and utterly mentally. At some other point, he'd cut off his own nipples. He said to let the devil out. So the poor thing was very mentally ill. He was young, early 20s. So once the EMTs find out this person's alive, now they want to try to collect it to see if they can reattach it at the hospital.
Yeah.
So we had done our photos. I actually have a video of this whole thing. I pulled video from the street, nearby surveillance video. That's how I know kind of everything after the fact. They come down to reattach it, and we had just done the photos. I didn't look directly at it. I can do.
Never stare into it.
You do like a weird blurring. It's almost like when someone blurs out somebody's face and wearing a bit. That's what your brain does. You're like, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I want to see all of it.
It was big. It was nasty. So they try to come down to take it off the sidewalk. He goes to pick it up.
And what are they using, a spatula or whatever?
No, he had gloves on. He was using his hand. And he had this weird,
that guy's a pervert.
Clear cylinder. He was an EMT. He had this cylinder thing he was going to put it in.
Like one of those bank. Remember at the bank, you would put that check in the thing and send it back up there through that.
Literally like that. So he goes to pick it up, and it's been so cold. He's tugging it, and it was frozen to the sidewalk.
No way. Like that guy from Christmas Story. Bring that up.
But like his tongue, that's what happened to the poor guy.
Bring that up real quick, because people forget that can happen. Oh, yeah. Oh, and let's get just to give us a descriptive visual. What kind of wiener are we talking about? And if your wiener's, I don't know if it's still, what kind of what kind of wiener side, like, because that's just a sidewalk wiener. What kind of wiener are we talking about?
It's big.
It was.
It was big and it looked purple.
Ooh.
It was a black guy and it almost looked purple.
Ooh.
But he went to tug it, and because it froze, he gave it a second tug, and then he didn't let go of it. It like went in the air, and this thing came out. I don't know if it was his urethra. I don't know what the fuck it was. I compared later to like a balloon streamer, came like flying out the end.
Oh, that's some party
and
confetti,
I just turned and dry heaved into the street. I've never thrown up at the job. I've never done it. I dry heaved into the street. I was like, what the fuck? And some young patrolman who was there, and this is all on video, he's in his uniform, and he does this little kicky, uncomfortable dance because he's like, oh my God, that was horrific.
Oh, he couldn't handle it like that?
No, exactly. And then later I pulled the video from the street. We're like, how did this get there? How did this guy get back to the house? He had cut it off several hours before in the house, walked down the street, and he's completely naked. Nobody called police. This is the best part. There's people going to work. It's like 3 or 4 in the morning. Busy, busy street. Driving down the street. He's completely naked. No one called 911. And he's walking down the street, and I have a video of it. He leans, he'd cut it, but it wasn't off altogether.
Oh.
So he leans down.
Wow, bro. That's that. Whoa.
Tugs
that's
it,
that Memphis.
and then whoosh, threw it on the sidewalk.
No. Oh. So wait, tell me that part again. He what? So
I'm watching the
So
video.
he leans. Tell me that part again.
So I'm watching the video and try to find him. Like, what time did this happen? And you just see this form. It's dark, and he's completely naked, walking down the street. And all of a sudden, he leans over. I'm like, what's he doing? And he's in the direction. It's kind of from the side, direction of his crotch. You see his arm move like a tug, and then he just fucking threw it. And I remember when I pulled the video, I didn't know this had happened. I watched it, and I pushed my chair back from the desk and screamed. I was like, what the fuck? The worst part is he came, so if you could believe something's worse, he came back about a half an hour later. He walked like a mile. They said that's what saved him, why he didn't bleed to death. It was so cold, it coagulated the blood, so he didn't bleed to death. He came back, and he's walking down the street, and as he sees it, he walks over to it and gets down on all fours and leaned over and kissed it.
Nuh-uh.
And then got up and walked away. I thought he was going to eat it like a dog bone, honest to God. I was like, what is happening? What is happening? He bent down, gave it a smooch, and got up and walked home.
Oh, God.
It was fucking crazy.
Oh, my God.
The poor bastard.
Oh, let me tell, because I got to go through a couple beats of that story. And dear God, let me just say that out loud so God knows that we're just alarmed by this.
Yeah.
First of all, the fact that he cut it and it was just hanging there.
He didn't do the job.
Just like a piece of Memphis mistletoe just hanging there. That's so wild.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Like mistletoe at a Diddy party or
crazy.
something, dude. And then he tugged it off. I can't even imagine.
Gives it a tug.
Because you've read like a little hangnail when you pull it off.
Kills.
Ugh.
And this is like, there's a lot of nerve endings down there.
Oh, that's the ultimate hangnail.
Yeah.
That's the most
That should be the name of my chapter, not on the sidewalk. The ultimate hangnail.
That's the most hangiest nail that there is. When you said that, it got so visceral, I think, for me, and I'm sure for anybody listening.
Most men get the same reaction when you tell them.
And then I wonder what flew out of it. Pull that up on Perplexity, because I'm thinking that's just a little.
You know what it looked like in the photo and when I saw it come out? You know what like sausage casing looks like before there's a sausage in it? It's almost like skinny, opaque kind of almost... I don't know how else to describe it. It's like kind of gray and translucent. It was like a little smaller than my pinky, and this thing just flew out. I just could not even. Yeah,
that's just a little wiener funfetti, homie. Let's look at no, give me a gander at it, man. I'm trying to get a gander. Yeah, let's look at the. But let's look at the parts here because it's fascinating to know what is that.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck it was.
That's a vagina. Oh no, that's a wiener.
Oh,
sorry.
Come on, man.
These days you can't tell. The other day, my buddy showed me a picture of his naked wife. She has a wiener, and I was like, all right, well, that's a surprise.
Yeah, maybe it's the urethra. Yes, because see, the urethral opening goes down to the end. That's what it was.
God, boy.
Yeah, it was dicey. That was a dicey. And I remember when we got the call, and I remember standing over it, thinking like, where did I go wrong in my fucking life that it's 7:45 in the morning and I'm looking at someone's dick on the goddamn sidewalk?
You know?
I was like, wait, what did I do? What did I do to deserve this?
It's a question as old as time.
You know?
It really is.
Poor bastard.
I think a lot of women have asked themselves things like that overall. You know,
No
it's
shit.
just, you know. And in hindsight, how does that even follow up? Do you guys keep that in evidence? Or
no, they tried to reattach it at the hospital. So they rushed him to the hospital with it, and they did attach it, but it didn't take. It was like a month later they had to like take it off. Yeah.
Imagine that month. Oh my
So
God.
it's funny because of the group home, we were trying to find out what is this kid's story, what's his name, because the other kid in the house was not with it at all. Couldn't even. He was just sitting there playing video games. Well,
Of
it was like
course.
a bloodbath. So we're like,
It's hard to get the kids off the games.
right. So, but these guys, they're like 20s. So I call the supervisor of the group home, and I was trying to get some information. He's like, "Oh, him. We're trying to find him an in-house, a placement in a hospital or a psych ward because he's been exposing his peanuts in group classes or whatever in group meetings." And I said, "Well, you're late. You're a little late because he cut it off and threw it on the side." With the guy's like, "What?" Like you could tell he shit himself because that's his house. Someone's supposed to be supervising.
Yes, obviously somebody's supposed to be
So
there.
someone failed.
Making sure at the very least someone's not lopping off their own wiener.
Yeah.
And I just can't, but I can't even imagine the month wait to know if it's going to take or not, you know?
I don't think he cared.
But still,
he
just
cut
as
it
I
off.
think,
He was obviously crazy. I mean,
But you don't
I know
thi-
that's not the technical.
but you don't
term,
think he
but-
cared why?
I mean, he cut off to begin with. He said he was letting the devil out. Like he's just extremely mentally ill, and I don't think he even.
Kind of. I mean, I think there's a part of a lot of people that think the devil lives inside of their genitalia for some people.
Yeah, and he,
You
like
know?
I said, he cut his nipples off. He like carved something in his forehead. Like this poor kid was really messed up.
It's heartbreaking that people go through so much. And I just, but I can't imagine that month where you're waiting to see, right? Like the bandages
I
on.
can't imagine
It's almost,
doing it. Like, how do you?
Oh, yeah, I can't
sit there while and saw it off, and he did it. And, like,
did he use a saw? Now let's ask.
no, it's just a big long kitchen knife. But it was as dull as dishwater. It was in some shitty group home. Like
Was
it's
it?
not some nice Henkel's knife. You know what I mean? I'm sure.
Well, it's not like Hanzo scissors he was
it was
using.
like
something.
some plastic handled shitty kitchen knife. It was like this long.
You got to see the knife?
Yeah, we were up in the apartment.
Was it a basic like knife you get like if you made your kids dinner, you give them a knife or your
no,
husband
not
dinner?
a steak knife, like a little bit longer. Like
Okay.
would come in your knife block for like carving
Serrated or whatever?
I don't remember that.
God, please,
I don't think it
hope
was serrated.
I hope it was. Otherwise,
Serrated might be more jagged.
but yeah, I think you would get it done pretty quicker. I don't know if we can. I mean, the more we talk
God
about this,
only knows how long he was working at it because the whole bedroom. So the kid I was working with, thank God, he had been in the crime scene unit. So he would go into scenes all the time. Like he put on Tyvek suit to go in because there's so much blood. We go stepping through it.
oh, the wiener holds a lot,
Yeah.
baby. That's the Lord's
Yeah.
spigot.
The
right
Lord had
there.
lots that day.
God, boy, you definitely. God, and who was the other kid? Just some honky sitting there playing Double Dragon or
It's
something?
just he was sitting there. It was like a grown man with his legs crossed, like so that's weird. The crisscross applesauce scene.
Yeah.
and he's sitting there like trying to. We were talking like, "Hey, do you know what happened?" He's just like trying to look past us, like because we're in the way of his game. We're
play
like,
the game?
All right, this guy's not.
What
gonna
game
help.
was it? Do you remember it all?
I don't know. I was concentrating on other shit.
Wow.
Yeah, he was literally just trying to look around us.
I bet it was one player. They didn't have a lot of two-player games at that time. Wow. Oh my God. But the worst, imagine you're waiting, they wrap your wiener, they do the repackaging, and I bet at that point it's almost like the Masked Singer. You're just waiting, they take
Wait.
it off, and you're seeing like, okay, is this what do we have here?
Did
you
this
know?
work? Yeah. What's the result?
Yeah, do we have a Shaquille O'Neal
Didn't-
here? Or do we have a Muggsy Bogues here? You know?
Didn't take.
I think you're just waiting to see.
What you gonna end up with?
Oh, that must have been horrible. The big reveal, you know?
Yeah.
And they're like, move that bus. And then the bus takes off and your your cock doesn't work, dude.
Yeah.
That's the freaking worst. God. I hate that.
That was a day.
I hate that. Oh, that's harrowing.
Yeah, that was one.
That's harrowing. And it's cold out. Was it so cold outside? Was it hard to stand outside? Was it that cold? It'd be
we
crazy-
weren't outside that long once we took the photos and when the EMT came down and collected it, there wasn't else much to do at that scene. So then we went up to the house and it wasn't cold in there. We were outside for maybe an hour, 45 minutes. I don't even remember.
Because
It wasn't like 20 below.
right. But it was chilly, right?
Yeah, it was cold.
But the part for me, I think that'd be the wildest is say you are, you're so cold, you run out there, you're looking at the cock, and then it gets too cold, you got to run back into your car and
No,
warm
there
up.
was no running back and to get
And you're
warm
like
or
you're
anything.
like texting like, all right, let's meet out there again in 30 seconds. Like you know what I'm
No.
saying? Like you're having to battle the cold so much.
No, not at that case.
You're like, oh yes,
Yeah.
it's a black cock, and you have to go sit back in your car. Like that's the part that would
No.
get having to build up stay warm out there. God, that's insane. Dude.
Yeah, it was fucking crazy.
And it is, and that's the kind of shit. It's like, you're sitting there and then you're watching your kiddo blow out some birthday candles
Yeah.
or something.
You go from that to something else.
Oh,
That was a day.
yeah.
We went out for drinks after work that day.
Oh, yeah.
we were like,
dude.
we're going out tonight.
Yeah, off a black and tan, huh? That's what I'm saying, dude. I love some Johnny Walker.
Yeah.